This is my assessment of Counteract tire balancing beads. This is 4 ounce. I did use these on a 17-inch 235 55 r17 alloy cart wheel tire on a 2006 Lucerne. I only used 4 ounces per tire wheel in the front. I have a imbalance at over 54 miles an hour. It was not drivable. It would basically shake the car to pieces. So I added these 4 ounce into each front wheel tire combination. Initially at 55, over 55, under 60, relatively stable. Didn't have near the vibration. There's a couple of mistakes that I made. 4 ounces is not enough to cover that wide of a tire and that size of a tire. The amount of real estate on the inside of a 17-inch 235 tire is tremendous. So these 4 ounces did spread very, very thin. These are tiny glass beads. When I say tiny, I mean a millimeter. They're very, very, very small glass beads. This makes them effective in the way they spread through the tire and accommodate anomalies with regard to weight problems on your wheel tire combination. So the way that these spread throughout the tire is good. Here's my mistake. The inside of my tire was not dirty. It was not necessarily greasy. But this is what you have to understand. These are tiny glass beads that will stick to anything inside your tire. Before you use Counteract beads, you need to clean your tire inside very thoroughly, including your rim, your wheel, degreaser, potentially carburetor cleaner, something that's a solvent that will clean any residue off your wheel and any residue off the inside of your tire. This is the problem that I had, in that I believe static charge kept these on the inside of my tire in position, because I took a rag and wiped them down the tire, which they collected at the bottom. I then vacuumed them out. So there's a couple of issues that I had. I did not clean the inside of my wheel tire with some sort of cleaning solvent, hopefully that doesn't dissolve rubber. But you're just going to wipe it down anyway. Clean it, clean your rim, assemble it, put these beads in. In my case, I did not use enough beads, and I'll explain. These 4 ounces were enough to coat the inside of the tire with a very individual, tiny, thin coat of beads. I probably needed to add another bag of these for this size of a wheel tire combination. You're saying I'm adding 8 ounces of tire balancing beads per tire. This tire is extremely wide, and there's a lot of real estate to cover, and my imbalance was pretty severe. Now, I would say 6 or 7 will probably accommodate any kind of situation with regards to a wide tire and a large rim. This is my assessment. I have not tried this, but based on what I have experienced. The reason I am not doing this, I'm going to have my wheels and tires balanced at a shop. Now, they have something called a Hunter balancer. It's Hawkeye XL that actually applies road force to the tire, and it can tell you whether you need to rotate your tire on the rim, on the wheel. This is supposed to add in the balancing. My assessment of these beads are they are functional. They work well to fall through the tire because they're small, and they will coat the tire. Here's the problem. They're very small, and that static charge may potentially cause them to stick to the inside of the tire, in addition to any kind of film. These are going to stick to it because they're very, very, very small. But that also makes them very effective. So my advice on Counteract tire balancing beads: clean your wheel and tire very, very well before you put these in there, because they will stick. They will stick to your tire on the inside, and they will stick to your wheel. Clean that very well. Add them, run them, and see how they perform. They should perform pretty well if used the correct amount of ounces per wheel tire combination. A 17-inch 235 tire is a big ass tire. The amount of real estate that these have to coat and cover is tremendous. 4 ounces is not enough for a 235. I knew that when I did this. I was just testing these, and they were effective until they weren't. I took my tire wheel combination apart and noticed they were stuck all around the inside of the tire. And I said, one, I didn't use enough of these if this is going to be happening. Second, I probably didn't clean this tire good enough to be using this. Third, if you have any kind of a flat and you add fix-a-flat, you just screwed yourself, because you just added a bunch of rubber cement to the inside of your tire, and these are going to immediately stick to it. So they're going to stop working because all of the rubber cement is going to float around, and these are just going to be stuck in rubber cement inside your tire. If you use a wet air compressor, meaning there's water in it, and you throw water inside your tire, these are going to stick to the water. But still, that's not as bad as any kind of a greasy film. Water will generally go where it's supposed to go. Matter of fact, you could probably use sand potentially to balance your friggin' car tire. Is just take a scoop of sand and dump the shit in there. The sand is going to go where the weight anomalies are, generally. I'm not recommending that you go to the beach and throw some sand in your car tire. I'm simply telling you that that's effectively what you're doing here, is you have tiny glass beads that flow where the weight issue is, and they balance the tire, and they do work. I did confirm they work. One, I didn't use enough. Two, my tire had something on it. In addition to, there was some kind of static charge, clearly evident because I simply wiped and they fell down. They weren't stuck to anything, they were just stuck to static on the tire, which means you should probably add more of these. I would stop at 6 or 7 on the size of a tire, but you look at the recommended dosage of these and follow the recommendations of the manufacturer. I didn't use enough of these, and I did not clean my tire thoroughly enough. I didn't realize this is a learning experience on how small beads can statically stick to something. That's what I've experienced. That's my take on this. I'll be taking my tires and wheels to the balancing shop. I was just testing these. That's it.